Thanks for joining us for episode 5 of Sports Den on North Metro TV. I'm Mary Rominger alongside Bill Hupp. We have a loaded Sports Den show this evening, Bill, and this is the time of year that we really begin to see the identity of all of the programs in the area.
Yeah, the playoff push is well and truly underway now. Teams are more than halfway into their regular season schedules, and hard to believe October is right around the corner, right? We're starting to feel those fall temperatures, starting to get into that kind of nippy time of year, and some say it's the most wonderful time of year.
Some say as long as it doesn't get too cold too early. But
yes,
we start things off on the gridiron.
And it was cold and wet on the gridiron at Blaine on Friday night as they hosted STMA. The Knights making their second straight trip to NWSC territory. Each team coming in with a 1-2 record. First quarter action. Wide receiver Tyrell Terry lined up in the backfield, totes the rock in from 13 yards out. Early second quarter now, quarterback Frank Daniels takes the direct snap, twists his way to the goal line, lunges in to double the Bengals lead, 14-0. Second half now, Kendall Stadden boots her second field goal of the season, this one from 19 yards out to put Blaine up 17-0. In the fourth now, Frank Daniels again using his big 6'4", 210-pound frame to rush it in from 19 yards out to make it 24-0 Bengals. STMA would avoid the shutout with this tip drill touchdown catch late, but it would not be enough. The Bengals would force multiple turnovers on this rainy, chilly night and roll it home 24-6 to even their record at 2-2. And there you see the numbers. Big story from this game, star junior running back Michael Douglas rushing for 121 yards and nearly 6 yards a carry for the Bengals, and Frank Daniels with an efficient night throwing the football, and again those 2 rushing touchdowns. Bengals gearing up for a big game in a couple weeks when they host the rival Centennial Cougars.
In Maple Grove, the Centennial Cougars are up against a tough second-ranked Crimson program. Centennial coming off of that low-scoring win over Totino Grace. Cougars come out swinging. Henry Perner hits Josh Lee with a dynamite 45-yard touchdown pass. It's 7-0. Jaden Hill trying to add to the lead, slicing through the Maple Grove defense. That play would be called back, but the Cougars still get a 42-yard field goal from Eli Nowacki, now up 10-0. Maple Grove QB Jacob Kilzer comes up clutch on this fourth down play, breaking away for a 46-yard touchdown. The undefeated Crimson coming alive. Centennial forced to punt. Dylan Vocal returns it 70 yards all the way to the house. There you see him racing along the sideline. Maple Grove takes its first lead of the game, up 17-10 entering the second half. Crimson take another trip to the end zone, this time a 3-yard rushing TD from Jordan Ologbaju. The Cougars special teams made a big touchdown play with 6 to go, but in the end it's not enough. Maple Grove stays undefeated with a 24-17 win. Perner went 2 for 7 for 52 yards. Not bad for the conditions. Starter Dalen Cummings still out with injury. This is Centennial's second loss of the season, coming from 2 4-0 teams.
How about Reese Littlefield racking up 18 tackles for the Cougars? They weren't the only team in our area to go on the road, as Spring Lake Park visited Irondale this week, hoping to bounce back from a 28-14 loss to Chanhassen in week 3. Panthers wearing the blue and white, and they fumble early on as a big hit knocks it loose. Thankfully, Bo Johnson there to fall on the fumble to keep the drive alive. Freshman sensation Lamari Brown stopped initially, but powers through for a 22-yard touchdown run to put the Panthers up 7-0. This kid is unbelievable, and he is getting time in that crowded backfield for the Panthers, so you know he must be legit. Panthers would add a safety, and they'd lead 9-0. Then Irondale, in the second quarter, Jacob Wazik hits Jariah Hughes for a 19-yard touchdown. The 2-point try was no good, so it was a 9-6 lead. Then Talso pitches to Jacob Smith over the middle. And now he hands it to Mikey Say on the reverse, and Say busts it deep into Irondale territory. As you see him roped out of bounds inside of the Knights' side of the field. Later, Mikey Say would cash off as Talso goes up top to Say in the left corner of the end zone. 5-yard touchdown pass puts the Panthers up 15-6. That's how it would finish in New Brighton. SLP hosts number 4 Mahtomedi in a big one on Friday night right here on North Metro TV. As we look at the stats, Lamari Brown with those 6 rushes for 38 yards and a touchdown. Braden Talso chipping in as well, continuing to lead the team. Just 3 pass attempts. How about 63 rushing attempts for the Panthers that night? They rolled up nearly 350 yards of rushing, averaging 5.5 yards a carry. So 63 rushes and 3 passes. That's Spring Lake Park football as they improve to 3-1 on the season. As we take a look at the football standings in the Metro North,
you have Centennial, who is 2-2 now, but they still hold strong in the Metro North. Blaine ahead of them at 2-2 overall and 1-2 to start conference action.
Yep, should be a good one between those two teams in a couple weeks. As we take a look at the upcoming football schedule, Spring Lake Park trying to keep pace with Robbinsdale Armstrong, and the Panthers with a couple big games coming up, hosting Mahtomedi again. We'll have that one for you on Friday night. And then eventually they'll visit Armstrong, who is undefeated right now, and that could be a massive game. Panthers ranked 6th in the rankings right now.
As for Centennial, up next is Wayzata, 7 p.m. game on October 30th, and you see those 2 losses for Centennial. Those are 4-0 programs, Stillwater and Maple Grove.
Yep, doesn't get any easier with Woodbury and Minnetonka to come. And then Blaine, of course, hosting Centennial in a couple weeks, 3 of their last 4 games on the road here in this 2022 season.
It's just impossible to predict how things are going to go week to week for the area's football teams. I mean, low scoring, high scoring, and you mentioned before, or at least alluded to, the conditions. We saw some rain and wind on the Friday night games. Yeah,
injuries and weather definitely playing a part in things. And, but I think we can safely say that Centennial's defense is legit. And despite giving up a couple odd touchdowns in that Maple Grove game, the fact that they held the Crimson to just a touchdown, or to, were within a touchdown of the Crimson, really signifies that Centennial, you're going to look back at their schedule and this season and just think, wow, they had a quality team and they hung tough with some of the better teams in the state. You look at their 1-point loss to Stillwater, and then that 7-point loss to Maple Grove.
Playing teams tough, love to see it. Well, now let's switch things up to the court. Some volleyball action. Anoka visits Centennial. The Cougars enter the matchup 9-1 on the season. The Tornadoes 7-3 at this point. Opening set, Andy Koslowski set up beautifully on the outside, strikes it through the double block for the kill. Later, it's Cougars senior Ingrid Noha getting up high and hammering it. No chance to defend that one. Cougars in control, playing in rhythm. The 6'2" middle hitter Elena Hecky makes it look easy. Just a freshman too. Nice pass there. Kosowski center stage for the laser. Anoka struggling to handle all of the weapons on this Cougars team. Somehow, some way, Centennial recovers from what looked like a sure point for the Tornadoes. Results in the free ball, and Anoka makes sure there's no chance of return this time. The crowd loved that one, and so did I. A bit of a spark lit for Anoka after that. Nice tip there on the near side to catch Centennial off guard. The chemistry the Cougars boast is a treat to watch. Staying calm there for what turned into a point, the senior Kosowski. Here's set point in set 2, and Cassie Sosinski handles it. Cougars go on to sweep Anoka in straight sets.
Hi, I'm Andy Koslowski. I think we definitely did a good job today powering through at the beginning first sets. We definitely kept our serves consistent, and in the end we finally pushed through even though it started to buckle a little bit, and we did a really good job. So yay team, roll Cougs!
I'm Elena Hecky. Something we did well tonight was our high energy and working as a team consistently and putting the ball down as a whole. Roll Cougs!
Cougars would visit Champlin Park, who had a 10-1 record coming in, and they are leading the Northwest Suburban Conference. The Cougars trying to keep pace with the Rebels, each team sitting on 10 wins. Don't adjust your computer sets or your TV sets. Cougars in the black, Rebels in the navy blue. First set, 15-12 the score. Hammered down, by Cassie Sosinski, one of her team-high 8 kills on the night. But set point, Carly Gilk tips it over to put Champlin up 1-0 and help them win the first set. In the second set, Sosinski starting things off with an ace as the Cougars got out to a 6-1 lead. But Champlin Park, as good teams do, comes back. Gilk again with the block at the net, dug out nicely and in for a point. So Centennial again battled but lost that one 25-20. Third set now. Again, that's hammered down and out of play. Centennial just trying to force a third set, blocked at the net beautifully. As it's tipped up and tipped over, dug out nicely. But ultimately, it would not be enough. Champlin Park takes it on the third set, and they win. They sweep the Cougars 3-0 as you see the stats there. Carly Gilk, 10 kills and 8 digs to lead all players in this game. How about McClellan with 21 assists? Elena Hockey tied Sosinski with 8 kills for Centennial. They visit the Huskies of Andover on Thursday.
And now in the Northwest Suburban Conference, you see Champlin Park at the top, who handed Centennial a straight sets loss, but Centennial 10-2 now as they enter conference play, even at 2-2, as well as Blaine. Spring Lake Park is 1-4 at the start of conference action.
Yeah, Blaine was leading at one point, but they have fallen off a little bit as conference play has started. They've lost 2 straight, as you see. They'll visit Cambridge. They'll have a couple of home games coming up before they visit the Den in a big one at Centennial, which will obviously be a fight for the Northwest Suburban Conference pride as we look at Centennial's schedule.
Up next at Andover, so a lot of exciting stuff coming up on the court.
Yep, no doubt. But I think it's time we talk about some football now.
Yes.
That football, yes, the one that the world plays that's going to be at the World Cup coming up. Spring Lake Park hosting Centennial. It's a cat clash on North Metro TV on a beautiful Tuesday night. And this one was scoreless, 0-0 until the second half when Nazi Bula deflected it, and her shot deflected off of her teammate, the Matamidi transfer, Callista Halatsis, off of her and into the net. The goalie was diving the right way, but it deflected off of Halatsis and in. And sometimes it's better to be lucky than good, Mary, as Centennial got the goal they needed with 27 minutes left in the second half. And then Jordan Metz makes a save at the near post. She made 4 of those to record a clean sheet. And the girls hung on for a 1-0 victory to keep pace with Blaine at the top of the conference. On the boys' side, Cougars visiting Spring Lake Park. And a throw-in leads to a goal as Cal Babish toe pokes it past off the throw-in. Those long throws can act like set plays. And Babish just beat his defender to the near post, poked it by, and the captain is red hot right now for the Cougars, as you'll see later. Later, a little give and go, and then Cal Babish does the rest, cuts back on his left, and fires it past the goalie for the second goal. He scored both of the Centennial Cougars tallies as the Cougars would eventually win this one 2-0. They'd keep a clean sheet. Vinny Rye making 8 saves in goal for Centennial. As you see there, both the girls and the boys come to Spring Lake Park and earn clean sheet
pressing and keep grinding. Like I've always said, that if you keep going, no matter if you make a mistake or not, you're always going to get that opportunity, and we got that opportunity with that throw-in over there.
So now, Cal, you got that first one netted. Your team goes up by a goal. What do you think that did to the momentum to be able to net that second one?
Yeah, it really, when you put it in a goal for this team thrives on positive motivation, and that's just how they keep working. They feed off that energy, and yeah.
In senior year, of course, getting to be the leading goal scorer on your team has got to feel pretty good, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I do this for the team. Like, every one of those guys I have friends with, and like, I just do it for them. And the senior year, just take it all in before it's too late.
And the last thing that you probably get to enjoy is you play alongside your brother on this team. So how special is that to get to play with him here at the senior or the high school level?
Yeah, it's really special because I've never played with him in my lifetime, and we've been playing for like over 10 years, and finally getting on the field with him and getting connecting passes, it's great, and I'll remember it for the rest of my life. So yeah.
As you see there, you thank Cal Babish for joining us. All of our teams bunched in the Northwest Suburban Conference. Centennial picking up their 4th conference win of the season right there. But Spring Lake Park just one ahead of them, and they're almost even on points, as you see. Everybody chasing Andover at the top. The Huskies unbeaten thus far.
As for the girls, Blaine at the top, 7-0-1 in conference action. Staden leading the charge there, and I enjoyed seeing her as in the kicking position for Blaine in the football program. Centennial 5-2-0, Spring Lake Park 3-3-2 as far as the conference standings are concerned, so things are separating a little bit from what they were last week.
Yep, no doubt, but some big games coming up as you see Blaine visiting Elk River, and then they'll host Spring Lake Park in another Cat Clash before traveling to take on a good Champlin Park Rebels team in a couple of weeks. And Centennial with a big one at Maple Grove before hosting Champlin Park. So a couple big games coming up for the Cougars as they hope to continue to climb up the Northwest Suburban Conference schedule. Standings.
Blaine coming off of those 3 wins, next at Elk River, then Spring Lake Park will follow. Then Woodbury, Centennial wanting to keep the winning ways as they did against Spring Lake Park alive, visiting Maple Grove. Then they'll return home for 2 sets of games, and then Spring Lake Park trying to get back into the win column against Coon Rapids at home.
Those 1-0 losses tough to both Andover and Centennial, and that's a big game for Centennial as well. Visiting Maple Grove, those two have a intense rivalry, and be great to see the Cougars come on the road and earn 3 points.
Well, we did both types of football, volleyball, and now we head to the pool for some girls swim and dive. Spring Lake Park drops in for a meeting with Centennial. We start things off with the 200-yard medley relay. It's Centennial finishing first with a time of 2:02.3. There you saw the finish by Jaden Rusager. Now the 200-yard freestyle, Kylie Nordenstrom, Spring Lake Park. And then the 200-yard IM, Cara Roseborough, 226.97 finish. 50-yard freestyle, always a fun one to watch. It's Rusager for Centennial coming in with a 25.54 finals time. 1 and 2 finish, Centennial and Spring Lake Park, Catherine Wolfel and Ellis Rosenberg, both shining bright for the area's teams. And then the 100-yard butterfly, Carly Lindquist. We'll hear her name a lot coming up because she had herself quite the day. 105.15 finish. The 100-yard freestyle, Milna Kossenbath, 59.88 finish. The only one to finish below 1 minute. 500-yard freestyle, Sophia Nguyen for Centennial comes in at the top, 5:39.30. 200-yard freestyle, it was Carly Lindquist and her relay group. The 100-yard backstroke, Lindquist, 105.76 top finish. Another top finish for Spring Lake Park, Cara Roseborough, the freshman for Spring Lake Park, at the top. In the end, it's Spring Lake Park winning 98-88.
Back with you here on North Metro TV with 2 senior captains of the Spring Lake Park team. You guys just got your first win alongside me, Carly Lindquist and Malin Kotzenbath. I'm on the other side, but we're going to start with you, Carly. How excited are you? Your team finally getting that first victory of the season. What emotions does that bring up?
So much excitement. You know, it's like a warm comfort feeling, like we all really needed to do our part today, and we all did. And I'm super excited to see like what's to come for the rest of the season.
And Malin, how tired are you? You both swam 4 events here late on in today's meet. So how tired are you right now?
You know, I'm pretty tired, but something that's really helpful is that the other team's energy was really great, and it was such a positive environment, and I'm really glad that we got to be here.
Yeah, both of you being seniors, what has this program meant to you to make it this far into your career?
It's very emotional. I don't really want it to be over, but I am looking forward to college. But I mean, Greg and Bethany, it's like they've become like my second parents, and so it's going to be hard to leave them, but we've done so much and we've grown so much as a team that I'm really proud of what we've become.
And Malin, I want you to talk about your first win for your team this season, but what was on the line? Your coach mentioned to me that maybe something is to happen tomorrow at practice. What is that?
So our coach is going to be swimming with us in the pool.
All three of them?
Yeah.
And why is that? So they told you if you win today, that gets to happen, they get to swim with you?
Yeah, well, so it came down it was like the second half of the meet, you know, we were losing in the beginning and then we got to the middle and it was like we were tied and then we were a little bit ahead and he's like, you guys really need to go like this last relay. Otherwise, he's like, if you guys do, I'll get in the pool with you. So they're going to swim with us tomorrow.
That's awesome. Well, the extra motivation sometimes helps,
Yeah.
but you guys, congrats on getting that first victory, and good luck the rest of the season, ladies.
Thank you.
And we thank our own Blythe Whaley for getting those terrific interviews after the soccer game, volleyball game, and the swimming meet. But it is insane for me to think about. As someone who is not from this state, it's insane for me to think that 7th graders can be making an impact at the varsity level at high school.
Yep, you saw Sophia Nguyen for Centennial earning the top finish in the 500-yard relay, the 500-yard freestyle. So that's always impressive.
Yeah, no, it's really, I mean, this show is older than these kids. That's what's so remarkable.
Yeah.
And there may be some new blood on this show coming soon, but we're not going to tell you anymore. You got to stay tuned. You got to tune in to find out what we mean in the coming weeks. Until then, she's Mary Rominger. I'm Bill Hupp. Thanks for joining us inside Sports Den. We'll see you next time.